Alrighty, so let's first start off with All-Star Weekend. It's coming up. All-Star game is tonight.
It's tomorrow.
LeBron and
Oh well, when we're dropping this, it should be tonight.
yeah.
My bad.
But LeBron and Giannis obviously gonna be doing a schoolyard pick. What are your thoughts on the format this year, with it being like an old schoolyard pick and LeBron and Giannis get to
I thought it was
pick?
cool. I think uh, it's just good vibes. Honestly, it's something for the fans. It's All-Star game. It's just time to kick back, enjoy basketball. Maybe not at its purest form, but just have fun. See a bunch of lobs, a bunch of dunks, and I think it gives it spices things up because before they would be able to practice and stuff and have plays or whatever. Now nah, it's just you pick your teammate, you pick your five, you got your bench, your reserves, and then you get out there, start hooping, start playing. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool that they're just like everyone around the country does schoolyard picks and stuff like that. So it's like it's throwing it back to when everyone was a kid again, and everyone
Exactly.
can relate to doing schoolyard picks and stuff like that. I don't agree with them doing the reserves first and then doing the starters
It's a little
second, picking the
weird.
reserves first because they don't want one of the reserves to feel bad that they were picked last or something like that.
What
I
is that
think that's a
about?
little weak.
You make too
Getting
much
paid
money for
40,
your egos to be hurt by something like that.
and you're named an all-star, so I don't think your ego can really be hurt
There's
when
no
you're
losing.
both
Yeah.
playing all-stars. So I think that's pretty weak. But other than that, I'm excited to see it. I think it was East versus West kind of getting old, and then doing the draft like 2 weeks in advance is kind of getting old as well. So I think just do it right then and there, pick, and like let's just start playing. So I think that's the best decision in my opinion for them to do that.
Exactly. You know what the next step is? It needs to be those all-star jerseys, bro. They need to change them up or allow fans to have some sort of say in that. Because some of the fan designs are better than the real all-star jerseys, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
I think a concept they could do is, since LeBron and Giannis were both picked, maybe have one representative like fan from the Lakers pick LeBron's
Yeah,
jerseys, or one from the Bucks, or since it's in Utah, you just pick two Utah Jazz fans and then they pick LeBron and Giannis's jerseys. Like you could easily do that. It's like it's good for the representation of Utah Jazz or Lakers and Bucks. Like yeah, like our star player was the captain, so we get to pick the jerseys for our teams this year. And I think that they should do, since they're doing a schoolyard pick, they should do reversible jerseys. You know how
yeah,
they
most
yeah, how
definitely
they used to do.
at bare minimum. Because I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know how much more I can take of these bum jerseys, fam. I don't know.
I
But
agree.
with the game format too, they kept the same game format as last year, or was it last year when they started doing the Kobe
Yeah,
format?
previous 2 years they've
Yeah,
been
the
doing that.
previous 2 years, past 2 years. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out. If it's gonna be a high scoring game or low scoring game. Relatively, the past All Star games, because there's just no defense ever being played. It's pretty high scoring games. So I think we're gonna be in for a good one. To be honest, very good one.
Obviously, it'll start off lighter. You know how that is. Everyone's just trying to feel each other out, especially like since you just got picked your team like 10 minutes ago. It's gonna be more of a feel out process, and with some hoops and some dunks and stuff in there like that too. But another aspect that sucks though is that the injuries, bro. Like Curry's hurt.
Yeah, I didn't
He
even
was
think
hurt.
about that.
My boy Giannis just got hurt. We don't know if he's playing or not. I know he was at the Celebrity All Star game coaching
Yeah,
yesterday. He and looked fine there, but it sucks that you don't get to have those stars playing in this game too as well. Like it's just unfortunate for the fans too as well.
and I feel like the NBA, they could do a little bit. Injuries are random. Injuries will always happen, but the NBA, the way they organize their schedule, I think they're trying to make more emphasis on it this year. It's been better, but just for less back-to-backs, and they could easily make it happen. I don't know if they have to make the season a little bit longer, but just the way they separate the days in between. Anyways, it's a lot easier said than done because there's 32 teams and each of them have to play 82 games. So I'm sure there's a lot of numbers and math that goes into it, but they should organize the season to make back-to-backs a rarity. They should have like a limit on back-to-back games played. A lot of it is just tied to fatigue and your body not being able to get that type of rest or the layoff, especially in the stars like Curry. No wonder Curry's getting injured so much this year. The team has to depend on him a lot more than previous years. He doesn't really have the luxury to sit back and give the ball to KD or a prime Klay Thompson anymore. But yeah, that's just my thought on the injuries. But it sucks to see Curry's not going to be in there. I even forgot about that till you brought it up. Giannis, I didn't even know Giannis was injured till you brought it up too. So it's going to be, some fans are going to be in for a little bit of a rude awakening, but just try your best to enjoy the game, I guess.
I know we're talking about the All-Star game, but I'll get back to that in a second. But as it pertains like the injuries and length of the season, I think that the season's a little bit too long. Actually, I think they need to condense the games and go shorter. Maybe go 70 games or something like that, and reduces injuries, reduces back-to-backs, creates more urgency in the season. Because, bro, let's be honest, everyone's watching football up until like December, January, February, and then now we're actually getting into basketball and stuff like that. And NFL is 18 weeks long. The urgency every single week, like, it counts. Like, it's one game. Like, the amount of teams that have lost on one possession games on the final like play of the game and like missed the playoffs because they didn't win a single game. Like, that's why everyone watches the NFL, because the urgency that it comes with it. I think if the NBA shortens the season, it creates more urgency, reduces injuries, reduces like the load management as well. People are more intrigued quicker in the season because, like, we're already 40 games in, there's only 30 games left. Like, we got to start winning games. We want to make the playoffs and stuff like that with some of those teams. So I feel like the urgency will be increased, and that's what people watch. People watch urgency with college football, March Madness. It's your one game, you're in and you're out. If you lose, you're out. You win, you keep on going on and moving in advance, stuff like that. So that's what I would say about the NBA regular season and injuries and stuff like that. Back to the All-Star game though. I aspect that I always loved about the NBA All-Star game was it was a whole weekend and stuff like that. And I guess we can kind of move on if you're ready to talk about the three-point contest and the dunk contest with
who do you got? Who's your picks?
So the thing I do hate about the All-Star weekend though is the dunk contest. Like, last year was arguably the worst dunk contest that I've ever seen, bro. Like, I saw maybe 3 dunks that were like legitimately made, and it was just awful. And there's like nobody that plays that's in the NBA or any stars that play in the dunk contest. Like,
it's just,
can you imagine LeBron playing in the dunk contest, or Zion playing in the dunk contest, Child playing in the dunk contest? Like, it's just, they need to add incentives for the stars to play. You know, maybe $1 million to the winner who wins the dunk contest and stuff like that. But
I just saw actually. I don't even know if it's the money for the big players anymore. I feel like it's just the publicity aspect, or just how it would look, the publicity of it. Because I just saw somewhere, if I find it, I'll post it or I'll put it up on the screen. The NBA, they try to create a dunk contest in like 07, 08 or one of those years, one of the prime years of Kobe, Bron, T-Mac, and Vince. And I was sitting back thinking, I'm like, dude, there's no way this couldn't have happened. And I don't know where the ideology starts from, or when it officially started, of big players not doing the dunk contest. It started around that type of era because, dude, they offered them each $1 million to even join in and participate in the contest, and they still wouldn't do it. So I don't know what it is at this point. But you're right. I completely agree. We need more big names in the dunk contest. It gives people, it just makes it more exciting to begin with. But me, to be honest, because I just watch the NBA a lot to begin with. I know the names, I know the faces and stuff like that. I'm involved with basketball a lot. Kenyon Martin, Trey Murphy, Mac McClung, Jericho Sims. These dudes, they got some crazy bounce, especially Mac McClung. Mac McClung's been going crazy for his dunks way before he even stepped into college. That dude was a high school phenom. Maybe that's just my personal excitement, or I like watching the smaller names, the smaller guys kind of get their rise, their publicity. Like Aaron Gordon. Nobody really knew Aaron Gordon until he went out and competed with Zach LaVine like that. Nobody even really knew Zach LaVine was like that. People thought Zach LaVine could only dunk. They didn't know he could shoot. They thought he could only dunk because of the dunk contest. So, or my bad. What were you saying? I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
I was just saying that was the best dunk contest, like all around.
Easily.
I know Vince like the craziest like performance like individually, but like if we're talking about as a whole as dunk
Oh, yeah, they were
contest,
trading back to back, back to back. They were just who could top who.
I think the dunk contest has the highest ceiling out of like any like event
By
in the
far.
All-Star break, but also has like the lowest ceiling as well. Like 3-point contest, like it'll be pretty solid. Once in a while, you get those crazy 30-point like final rounds to win it all and stuff like that. But nothing beats a amazing dunk contest, just like the 2016 Toronto one with Aaron Gordon and Zach
Dude, and
LaVine. Like can't beat that.
it's simple. It's simple even to think about it. It's a no-brainer because, dude, pretty much anyone in the world can shoot a three-pointer, unless you're limited by whatever it may be. Not everyone in the world can do some crazy. Not everyone in the world to begin with can do a simple rim graze or dunk. And these guys are throwing it over their heads, throwing it off the backboard, catching it between their legs. It's good entertainment, but you need to execute it well. You need to execute it, well enough. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's the names or the faces, really. It's just lack of preparation. And I think a lot of the guys last year, they just weren't ready for the moment. Moment too big, pissed down their legs. If you've seen those TikToks, that type of vibe, bro. Trey Murphy, he had a pretty nice dunk in the Rising Stars game yesterday. He got up. Oh, that man's got bounce. Him and Mac McClung are who I'm excited for. And Kenyon Martin, bro. Kmart Jr., he has crazy bounce too. He played, I think Sierra Canyon in high school. But he's notorious for his bounce as well. There's a lot of guys that can dunk. And Jericho Sims, dude, his G League highlight dunks are crazy. Crazy. So, I don't know how you feel. I'm actually pretty excited myself on this dunk contest. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be one of the better ones. And the judges are legit too. The judges are legit. They got Dominique Wilkins and Karl Malone in there.
Your perspective, obviously, you're like an NBA diehard. You watch every single game and stuff like that. I watch the NBA just as much as I watch the NFL as well, but I'm gonna try to keep it in perspective as like the casual NBA fan. I feel like this dunk contest, like it could be a make or break for the dunk contest, bro. Like with how bad last year's was, like I'm not saying no. I know Mac McClung, Trey Murphy, Kenyon Martin Jr. as well. Like I know those guys because I watch the NBA. But if we're talking about the casual who doesn't really watch it and is now just starting to get back in the NBA for after football season or whatever, like it's easier for it to be not a good dunk contest if you have those big names, because it's like you still saw those big names, they still try to compete or whatever. But if you got like no names too and they don't perform, then it's like, then what's the point of even having the dunk contest in general?
Very, very true.
So, but I agree, Matt McClung, like high school sensation, bro. Like I wish he panned out in the league, but he can maybe resurrect his career.
He's got some time.
He can maybe resurrect his career with this big dunk contest performance. Trey Murphy as well. I think those would be the top two that I would pick to win it as well. I'm going to go Mac McClung just because he was on Lakers, so I'm going to go him, even though he's on the Sixers right now. I'm going to go him to win it. But just the creativity, too. Like a three-point contest, yeah, like everyone's shooting it. Everyone's running around, going to different racks. Like dunk contest, like there's no rules, basically. Like you can literally do anything that you want to do. Blake Griffin jumped over a car, bro. Aaron Gordon.
That's a big thing too. Sponsorships and not even sponsorships, props. My bad. Spinning around
a hoverboard with the ball over his head, and Aaron Gordon jumped over him. Like Zach LaVine doing windmills from the free throw line, bro. Like there's some things you can't do in the NBA and can't do as a human being, and those are some of those things. So I feel like it's make or break year for the dunk contest.
Mac McClung came out and said himself, there's 2 or 3 dunks I have in the arsenal that I know for sure have never been done. So hopefully they bring that fire. Hopefully we see something, bro. I want to see something.
And they land it first try, bro. I'm sick and tired of this.
Exactly. We need
4 times, dude. Make it 3 times, 3 like attempts to dunk the ball. If you don't dunk the ball by then, just stop it, bro. No one wants to see you on your
5, maybe a little too much. Maybe 3. You're right. Maybe you're right.
Like it's gotta be quick, bro. Like the anticipation, bro. Like, obviously, on the first dunk, whatever you try to do, you gotta land it. Whatever it was, Vince Carter came up with his best dunk with the 360 windmill, landed it first try and said it's over from the first dunk, bro. Like,
and that's why it's iconic. They're still dropping that clip to this day. Every dunk contest ever you see, you won't see Vince. You won't not see Vince. You know what I mean?
And I think they should get the dunk contest legends as the judges. Imagine Vince, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon being the judges for the dunk contest, bro. Like,
Zach LaVine is a judge.
hard on them too. They're not giving up 8 or 9s for dunking it on their 5th or 6th attempt, bro. I wouldn't even do that. Like,
Maybe in like 10
that
to
would-
15 years they'll have Zach LaVine out there. I'd love to see Zach LaVine judging a dunk contest. But bro, that's what I'm saying. They got Dom, they got Neek, they got Karl Malone in there. They have Lisa Leslie. I think she was the first female to dunk in the WNBA.
she was.
So,
But I feel like it adds more pressure on for them to the actual like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon to judge the dunks because they perform the dunk contest.
Yeah.
They know what it takes to
I mean,
put
so
on
did-
a performance on a show.
they need more. I'd like to see Brent Barry in here too. I can't lie. I'm not who's Harold Miner.
It's like, see, bro, like I don't even like you don't even know who that is, and you watch the NBA.
He might be one of the best dunkers ever, and I'm just asleep.
But I'm just saying, I feel like
He was in the dunk contest. He was.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, he won 93 and 95. Dang, he's a 2-time dunk contest winner. So maybe he know. Yeah, I guess these guys, they all know a little something about dunking. They got Jay Crossover in there, Jamal Crawford. I don't know if he knows too much about dunking, but he's street ball legend. So I guess we'll have him in there too. I guess he knows.
3-point contest. This is a little bit more interesting in my opinion, just because of the different types of names that you normally don't see in there. Like Lowry Markkanen, Utah Jazz hometown kid playing in Utah. See what he can do, and then
I think he's in the skills contest as well.
yeah, he's in the skills contest as well. But another person that I'm excited to see who's replacing Julius Randle is Anthony Simons from the Trailblazers. He's got.
Is he going to be in
now.
there? No, I think
he's
Julius Randle's replacing him because he's injured. I know for a fact he actually.
You're right. You're right.
They put Julius Randle in there. They should have put Damian Lee in there. I'm pretty sure Damian Lee shoots something crazy from 3. Or Brook Lopez. Put Brook Lopez in there,
Bro,
man.
put Brook Lopez. He's got a
on.
heater on him.
I know. But Julius Randle, I guess, man.
Randall's been in it a couple times too, and he hasn't really done anything. So it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
But everybody else, other than Julius Randle, because Simons was going crazy this year. He's shooting almost 40% on like 10 attempts. Him and Dame. Dame's in there too. But yeah, Tyrese Halliburton. My bad. What were you saying?
I said they're just lighting it up.
Crazy. That's just they have to take that many shots in Portland. They're pretty much the entire offense. Them and Jeremy Grant too. But who you got coming out on top? Who do you think is gonna win of this list?
So I'll give you 3 names. For obvious name, I think Damian Lillard is the easy front runner in my opinion.
It's over.
Damian Lillard is arguably the second best 3-point shooter in the NBA in the league. He's so underrated.
I don't even think it is arguably. Me personally.
He can shoot as far as Steph. He can hit him as consistently as
Sometimes
Steph.
you'll be like, whoa, is he a little bit better than Steph at shooting? But then you realize you come back to reality.
He's clutcher than Steph. He's definitely clutcher than Steph.
You think so? It's a little controversial.
Bro, the Houston Rockets winning series, that shot, the 3-pointer.
Yeah, but that's first round.
Okay, see,
and that happened so
okay,
long ago. What is he?
Later.
I guess Dame time. I guess.
But Damian Lillard is my favorite. I'll give you 2 dark horses though. Kevin Huerter from the Sacramento Kings. He's got a heater on him. He's definitely underrated. I think Tyrese Halliburton too. He's a little young.
He's got that clip. I can't lie.
I'm a little worried about it just because he won't pace himself. Maybe he'll try to go a little too fast. And
he's got a little set shot though, so I think maybe he'll ease into it. I do like it.
Yeah, I love his shot, but Halliburton, Herter, and Lillard are my 3 picks to win it.
I like Tyler Hero a lot. I don't think I'm ever gonna go against Buddy Hield shooting the basketball. Did he win one too? He's won one already, right?
He's won one, yeah.
So yeah, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, and then Dame, of course, Dame. A lot of these guys like Kevin Huerter. I want to pick Kevin Huerter too, but I don't know. I feel like Kevin Huerter is just not ready he's not ready for prime time in my eyes. He's got to show me something, man. He's got to show me something. And then
I just think people aren't ready for people no one is expecting him to do much, so he's just gonna come out and just he's got no pressure on him. He'll just come out and stroke it. That's what
all he's got to do, really. But
that's why I don't trust Tyler Hero, just because he's just really shaky in the biggest moments too.
Bro, if I'm being honest, if it's one thing Tyler Hero knows how to do, shoot that tray ball, shoot that 3. In the biggest moments though, really? Because when the Heat made that bubble finals, they weren't even after that. They weren't even ready to trade Tyler Hero for James Harden, the Miami Heat. They didn't.
But what did he do in the finals? What did he? He didn't do much in the finals, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was. He was on. I'll put up
He
the stats
wasn't.
right
He
now.
wasn't what he was doing before
We'll
the
let the fans
finals.
determine if he was on or not. I'll pull up the stats right now. Put him on the screen. His final stats. See how he was doing.
Show his stats and then before leading up to the finals, though. Show what he was doing before that as well, though. I'm not really too confident in Tatum. I know Tatum's on there. He's arguably the best player in the three-point contest, but Tatum takes a while to shoot his threes, and he's a big man. He might be a little bit more winded as the rounds go on. So, yeah, that's why I got Halliburton, Kevin Huerter, or Dame Lillard.
Jason Tatum is a microwave. If he heats up, he could easily win this contest. Like him and Dame and Buddy Hield, those three, and Tyler. You see, bro? Dang. I don't even know who I could pick. I don't even know. You know what? I think my pick for the dunk contest, I'm stamping in right now. I got Jericho Sims winning. Jericho Sims, all-time sleeper. I got him coming out on top. And then officially name a three-point contest winner. I'm gonna go. I can't ever go against Buddy Hield, bro. I'm picking Buddy Hield too. Buddy Hield to win.
I'm going Mac McClung, and I'm going Dame time.
All right.
I think it's Dame's time to win. He's been in it for a while.
True, very true.
So, but who do you got winning? Team LeBron or Team Giannis?
With no picks.
Just the GM.
LeBron is Giannis just dropped some crazy kicks. I'm gonna go with Team Giannis. The new Giannis ones, the new colorway he just had, pretty fire. So roll it with Giannis.
So you're picking it off of you.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can pick it off of.
LeBron is 6-0 in this new format of team captain picking. So Giannis brought it up in a press conference and he says, I'm trying to win this year. So I'm going Team Giannis. I'm going Team Giannis this year.
I gotta be your antithesis. I'm switching LeBron. I have to be. I have to go against you.
I mean,
no
LeBron was
switching
the easy choice. I thought you were gonna pick LeBron. LeBron was the easy choice. I thought I was gonna go out on a limb saying Team Giannis, just because I think that streak ends at 6-0, and the All-Star game for LeBron ends this year Team Giannis.
My switching to LeBron pick, I feel a lot better about that after you told me LeBron is 6-0, in the new format. So, all right, we're about halfway, a little over halfway into the NBA season. So I feel like right now is a very good time to have some mid-season awards, some early season picks, who's going to win the awards. And I feel like we should start off with, like, you know what I mean? Like least significant, or not least significant, but, just like least interesting, and, build on. We're leaving MVP for last. Save Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year first. I'll go with my pick. I have Mike Brown of the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, big surpriser for everybody this year. They're the 4th seed right now, as I'm speaking on this, right? The 4th seed in the West. No, the 3 seed. The 3 seed. And it just brought resurgence. De'Aaron Fox, he's always kind of been an afterthought. He was high lottery pick. We know who De'Aaron Fox is as a player. We know what we're going to get from him. But we just haven't seen, the statistics translate to, more wins and all the type of stuff. But and they made the Sabonis trade, and last year we didn't really know how it was going to look, but this year with him and Fox and Sabonis, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Sabonis should even be an MVP conversation. The type of basketball that guy's playing, man, he's great. He is really good, and I feel like a lot of that credit goes to Mike Brown, because he brought it out of his players, and he took guys like Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. Atlanta, they were done with Kevin Huerter, and he's over in Sacramento right now having some career year. Malik Monk was an afterthought, and maybe it could just because he's playing with his guy in De'Aaron Fox, but he's having a pretty good year as well too. The Kings are just overperforming in general. Keegan Murray, he fell off a little bit from the beginning of the year, but they just have a good group of guys, a lot. Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes, all of these guys, man, they were just pretty much afterthoughts, really. Like, you knew of them, but you didn't really want to go out and make moves for him or whatever. Harrison Barnes, his contract isn't the best, and Sacramento, they paid him that, or Dallas, they paid him that money. He's in Sac now. But all these guys afterthoughts. Keegan Murray, even a lottery pick, but you didn't know what you were going to get out of him. He was kind of a big question mark coming out of Iowa. And to be the number 3 seed over teams, like if you told me Sacramento would be a better team than Golden State this year, I'd probably look at you a little bit sideways, just like, yeah, stay away from this guy. He's on some sort of drug. I don't know how legit their defense is, but their offense, definitely legit. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs. But my bad, Ethan. Who'd you pick for the Coach of the Year? I know I went on a big tangent.
First of all, Domantas Sabonis should not be in the MVP conversation.
He should be, bro.
We need to stamp that and say worst Dan takes and put that one as his first one as we're starting off this show. That's definitely the worst one so far. Hopefully it doesn't get worse, but with you being Dan, it might get worse.
All right, bro. We'll see.
Anyways, I have Mike Brown as my Coach of the Year as well, and I'll just based on just this stat, the Sacramento Kings have the longest drought of making it to their sports playoffs is 16 seasons. He's about to do that in year one, take him to the playoffs. Obviously, with the GM and moves and acquisitions with Domantas Sabonis as well, it was a good trade. Bringing in Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, as you said earlier, great moves for them. This is a very young team and a very athletic and hyperactive team as well. But every year there seems to be a team that does this. Like last year was the Grizzlies.
I was going to pick Taylor Jenkins over Mike Brown, actually. I think he has a good candidacy for Coach of the Year, too, but my bad.
He's got Ja Morant, though, and I don't think the Kings have a Ja Morant, like, star on their team, though.
De'Aaron Fox, though. I feel like dude, Sabonis is super. That's what I'm saying, man. He really should be an MVP. The basketball he's playing, the things he's doing, man, his efficiency, it's... I don't want to say unparalleled, but it's definitely up there in one of the elites. And my case for, and like I said, side tangent. My case for Taylor Jenkins, he had guys like Santi Aldama. He's not a rookie, but his rookie he didn't really play much, and he's played valuable minutes for them. David Roddy at some points, Jake LaRavia, they drafted him too. They just got a bunch of guys in that Memphis team, bro. It's pretty much just a next man up philosophy. They didn't have JJJ for the longest portion of the year, and when he came back, he kind of just fit right in seamlessly. There was no really adjustments, and even without JJJ, they were still at top of the Western Conference.
But just like you didn't expect the Grizzlies to do what they did last year, which is why he won the Coach of the Year. You didn't expect the Kings to do what they're doing this year. You kind of expected the Grizzlies to be in the top contenders of the West through midway through the season. So that's why I wouldn't pick Taylor Jenkins. Mike Brown literally flipped it around like in one season.
Big props.
When we'll get to the playoff, what the playoffs look like a little bit later on, but I'm a little worried about them in the playoffs just because it's their first year. They're so young. Mike Brown, I don't know how he'll do under pressure and being able to tweak things in the playoffs because playoffs get slower. You don't really get as many possessions as you once did during the regular season. You don't get as many. It's
been a while. He used to coach. So, I mean, of the experience he had from LeBron and the Cleveland teams he had, it'll just be, I guess, or did he coach a team since that LeBron Cleveland team?
Not as a head coach, no.
So, oh yeah, he was on the Warriors, right?
Yeah, and the one time he did head coach, they lost by like 49 to the Grizzlies. So,
you start off with your pick for sixth man. Who's your sixth man of the year?
Sixth man of the year. There's a couple names you could say. You can't really say Russell Westbrook anymore. Obviously, he's not in the Lakers. I would put him in my conversation for that, but I'm gonna go Norman Powell.
Norman Powell, very interesting.
Los Angeles Clippers.
Mad at it.
17 points, 42% from three, 48% from field goal. He's a veteran player. He knows how to win. He won with the Raptors. He won with Kawhi Leonard. He's just a solid player that you can absolutely just count on to go get you some buckets and go get you some threes when you need it and your team needs a spark. So yeah, Norman Powell.
I thought that was a very, very big trade they made last year for Norman Powell. They didn't even give up much. They traded I think Robert Covington or something like that in a second rounder for Norman Powell. He's coming out averaging 17 a game, like you said, shooting 42% from three. It's big time. It's a very, very, very good move. But I went opposite, and my guy, I picked Malcolm Brogdon for my sixth man of the year. Malcolm Brogdon, he's just super solid all around. His numbers, they're not always gonna pop out, or the box score numbers are not always gonna pop out at you. But if you look at what he does for that team, and just like a second on-court coach at times, or if you need him to play point guard, the 1, 2, or the 3, switch off, maybe sometimes even guard the 4. I'm not gonna say he's some elite defender. Sometimes he'll hold his own. Sometimes he'll give up a little bit on the defensive end. But what he offers on offense and just his overall versatility, it's just his overall versatility. What he gives, man. Right now, he's leading the league in 3-point percentage. He's shooting 45.5 from 3, man, and he's not taking a lot of volume shots either, and he's still averaging about 15 a game. His efficiency, I feel like he does what's asked of him, and then everything else is just extra. You know what I mean? He does what he's required to do, and then he's just a plus. So I can't say enough good things about him. I feel like he's my sixth man of the year.
An easy and like a makes sense pick. Like I can't hate on your pick at all.
Boston's the 1 seed. I like your Norman. I will say I like your Norman Powell pick too. I did have his name up there too, but when you picked him, I'm not gonna say I was expecting it. It was actually a little bit of a surprise. So yeah, he's kind of an afterthought. The
reason I picked Norman Powell as a sixth man, just because of what he's being asked to do more than I feel like Malcolm Brogdon. Like Malcolm Brogdon, if he has an off night and he's putting up 5 points and four assists or something like that, the Clippers can't have that. They need Norman Powell with 17 points. They need his 3-point shooting. They need his efficiency and his spark off the bench and his veteran leadership as well and championship pedigree to be able to compete and win in games and stuff like that. I feel like if Malcolm Brogdon had an off night and he disappeared for a few nights, like it wouldn't be that big of a deal because you still got Tatum, Brown, Smart. I mean, you got those core guys in there that they've gone to the NBA Finals. They've competed at the highest level, and I feel like Norman Powell, wherever he's gone, he's been a contributing factor. He's a plug and play kind of guy, and
most definitely,
the Clippers rely on him. I feel like a little bit more than the Boston Celtics rely on Malcolm Brogdon.
I feel like, I don't know if that's true. I can see where you're coming from offensively, like offensive loads and stuff like that. When PG and Kawhi, especially because PG and Kawhi, you never know when they're going to be available. Norman Powell definitely is much more available on that end. You'll see his effect much more. But like I was saying with Malcolm Brogdon, man, sometimes like the Celtics, they'll just need they need that extra facilitator. They don't even need in close games. They don't even need a scorer or whatever. If Marcus Smart is out, they can plug in Malcolm Brogdon, whatever position. He could be at the 1, but he won't even play the 1. He'll let Jason Tatum rock out at the 1, or Jaylen Brown bring the ball up, and then Brogdon will just be there. Sometimes in moments, you'll never hear them say it, but in moments where Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, they'll mess up, no one on that team is going to be able to get on them other than Malcolm Brogdon, or Marcus Smart will do it too because he's that type of vocal leader. But Malcolm Brogdon, he's more unspoken. He kind of leads by example. And that's why I feel like a lot of the things he does, it just goes unnoticed because he's not the type of person to bring it up. He kind of just goes in and plays his game, and he lets his game speak for him. I
think now we can move over to the Rookie of the Year.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a pretty easy and obvious one. Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic, averaging 20, 6.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists. I mean, his usage rate on the Orlando Magic is the highest to it, like 28 or 29% as well. So that's an easy no-brainer choice in my opinion.
He's all they got. At this point, he's all they got. Bobo, he's cool, but clearly it's Paolo's team from the get-go. And is there anything really bad to say about what he's been doing this year too? I don't think so.
And the only thing we can really talk about is just see how much he improves in the next couple of years, and if he can carry his team to playoffs and what he can do in the playoffs. That's really the question. It's not if he's gonna be a bust. No, he's a star player.
Here.
He's
just
here.
Keep him
he's
healthy,
right.
And yeah, see how fast he can translate these stats into some wins. Yeah,
but
he's the most improved.
I got the kid in Utah, Lauri Markkanen, 25 points a game, bro. Like, if you could have told me that
I could have told you.
Chicago
I could have
and
told you.
would translate to this.
I could have told you.
You could have maybe told me that, but I'm saying the overall opinion on him was not dropping 25 points and being the leader on the Utah Jazz.
And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. My most improved is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and people are gonna frown on me. They're gonna think it's like similar to what Ja was doing, or why Ja won the award last year. Before I get into why I think Shai is the most improved, I'm gonna speak on. I mean, look, if you just look at the stats from last year to this year, yes, I will tell you Lauri's most improved. That's what the stats are saying. Lauri, he's always had this in him. If you even go back to his second year in Chicago, before Jim Boylan got in there and started changing his game and making him into a corner 3-point shooter and just like have him try and be more of a rebounder and a rim protector or whatever, just more of a traditional big man and set screens and stuff like that. That's not what he was. Even when he was drafted in Chicago, and his second year especially, you got to see it a lot. He'd go coast to coast. He'd get the rebound. He'd handle the ball. He had a lot of posters off the dribble. It wasn't just like some dime and then, go up and dunk on someone or through a lob. Off the dribble, he would take his man and put him in the basket, put one on his head or whatever it may be, pull up mid-range, fade away. I always knew Lauri had this element, this next gear in his game. And that's why, to me, it's been 3 years in between this year and when his second year in Chicago, when I started seeing all of this. It's been 3 years in between. He's had to develop, work on his game and arsenal, mentally prepare, get adjusted to NBA speed, just all of the things. So when he finally gets this opportunity in Utah to showcase that, to me, I'm not surprised. It's good to see, and it is. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit surprised to see at the rate he's doing it, how efficient he is. The guy's shooting 41% on 7 attempts. As a 7-footer, bro, I don't know how many people you can say in NBA history is doing that. This guy's of a rare breed, of a rare class, and shooting 50% from the field as well. He was not doing that at all before he even got to Utah. He was actually shooting pretty commonly sub 45%, so he wasn't even on the more efficient end. But Utah, he fully opened his game, fully spread his wings, and they're just giving him the right platform to fully showcase him. And I don't know if per se he's improved just in one season. He's the most improved in just based off of one season, because I feel like this is a culmination of just him being limited to whatever his role has been. So if you want to say he's the most improved, then I guess I can see it. But over 1 year, I don't think so. And that's why I feel like over 1 year, Shai Gilgeous, he's definitely made the most improvement. Lauri had a 10-point per game increase from last year. Shai, he had about a 6-7 point per game increase, but you just look at what he's been asked to do and what he's like tasked with. The OKC Thunder, they're trying to win games. They're no longer in tank mode. They're trying to win games, and Shai's taken on that role of becoming 1A, and he's been healthy while doing it, and while all the defense is focusing on him, because I feel like if Lauri Markkanen went away for a night or whatever, the Utah Jazz, they just have such a good collection of pieces. Like, that's a good basketball team. You can't tell me, you can't go through on the roster right now. Of course, there's going to be a few names you don't know, but you can't tell me that's not a good basketball team right there at Utah. So I feel like Lauri has more of a luxury to lay off or get away with a little bit of not performing. But Shai's averaging 31 a game. These guys, like, Shai's like third in the league for scoring, bro. And Shai's averaging 31 a game, shooting less than, he's not even averaging 1 3 made a game, and he's averaging 31. There's not too many people in the league capable of doing that, man. And it's a huge improvement from last year, because last year he was taking north of 5 threes a game, 5.3. He's completely evolved his game, became way more efficient in the paint, in the mid-range. It's his bread and butter now. He's getting to the line way more, converting at a way higher rate. This, to me, and defensively, his leaps on defense, it's insane. People don't talk about Shai as a defender. Shai is a good guard defender, very good guard defender. Very good guard defender. He's averaging a block a game as a shooting guard. The last guard to do that, I think, might have been D Wade. Maybe not D Wade, but the last guard off the top of my head that I know was averaging a block a game is D Wade. Wholeheartedly, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the most improved basketball player within the past year. If you want to talk about overall culmination the past 2-3 years or so, I'd give it to Lauri, but as of 1 year, I'll give it to Shai.
Yeah, I would say after that long soliloquy of yours,
If you feel like you can interject, bro, go ahead, interject. You want to rebuttal, go ahead.
No, you're good, you're good. I was enjoying hearing it, but my thing with Shai, like 100%, like it's him and Lauri, like those are the two guys, and like what you're saying, if it's talking about like specifically just 1 year, I guess you could say it's Shai, but culmination, yeah, Lauri, but like you could see this happening for Shai though. You can't tell me that this was just like out of nowhere dropping 30 a game. Like this was like you could see this happening down the line with Lauri. Like he's also averaging 8.7 rebounds a game. Like he's not just the shooter or scorer. Like he's a defender and a big man too as well. Like
they got Walker Kessler down there, man. I don't know about defender. Lauri, he's made improvements on defense, but defensively, they got a lot of guys on that Utah roster that can defend too. Yeah, Mike Conley was there. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was there.
Lauri's leading the charge, though, is what I'm saying, though. Like they acquired him in 1 year, and boom, he's exploded for the Utah Jazz and dropping 25. Shai, like I feel like
Jordan Clarkson, though, he's been there too. He's been helping out.
I just feel like Shai, you could see this was eventually going to happen down the line. Now, can he turn those 30-point games, like we said with Paolo? Can he turn those 30 points a game and those numbers into wins? That's his next step now. He's got the numbers, he's got the production. Can he produce that into wins and get to the playoffs or whatever?
Okay, I just feel like they're in the play-in right now.
I just feel like no one expected this with Lauri this year.
That's fair. My next step for Lauri is if he can add that two-way ability, that two-way versatility that he's truly been lacking for so long, because nothing's really changed in my opinion. His scoring has just became more well-rounded. If you've seen enough of the NBA's defense and speed, you'll be able to attack and get yours off for sure more efficiently, and that's kind of what you're seeing with Lauri, I feel like. But
you could say the same thing about Shai though. Like he's on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like who's gonna? If it's not him, who? That's what I'm saying.
True, but that's what I mean. It's kind of been like that for the past 2 years. His situation hasn't really changed much. He had Giddey last year. Giddey's taken a step up this year. Can't lie, he's doing his thing. In my opinion, if you compare what Shai's doing this year to what Lauri's doing this year, I feel like Shai is more impressive. Shai has more of a responsibility, and in the responsibility, I feel like he's handling it a lot better. He's shown more improvement in more ways. I guess that's how I can word it. He's shown more improvement in more ways than Lauri has. Lauri, to me, he's just getting more shots up. He is more efficient, but defensively, I feel like if he would have shown me a little bit more defense, I'd probably be willing to put this pick up. And I feel like Shai has truly developed his game, understanding, refined it a lot more, and truly came into his own as a franchise number one. You can't tell me right now that Lauri Markkanen will be a number one for an NBA championship team. You can't tell me that as of right now. But after this season, I can give you an answer. Shai can be the number one on an NBA championship team. I can tell you that.
He can't make you got to make the playoffs before I could even consider that. I mean, we said the same thing about James Harden. It's kind of like the James Harden arc. He gets his own team. He starts kind of like going up and up and up.
This is different. You can't compare Shai and James Harden like careers as of right now. James Harden, he'd been in the league for however long. He went to the finals with OKC, and then he got traded to Houston. And he was just first round, second round getting bounced out. But that's the type of basketball he was just playing. It was just so predominantly like ISO ball. He would just dribble the air out the basketball, and then if Harden was off, that was the game plan. If Harden was off in the playoffs, you'd be able to stop the entire Houston Rockets. But with Shai though,
he disappeared in the playoffs. I mean, you can't say anything about Shai.
But that's the thing. I don't know if he more or less disappeared, but you can game plan for that type of stuff, that type of isolation, and you just get tired. You get tired out way faster than he would in the regular season. With Shai plays. His whole brand of basketball is just his pace. He never tires. He's never in a rush. He'll get to his spots. from 3 levels, 3 mid-range or at the basket, and he converts. He keeps the game super simple, and if you keep the game simple, it's a lot harder to beat because there's always options to, you know what I mean?
All right. Well, we'll keep that. We'll pin that note on if he's a number one, can win a championship. Probably in the future. We'll definitely have this conversation further down the line or whatever. But
Definitely.
DPOY. Who's your defensive player of the year?
My defensive player of the year. I'm going Nick Claxton, boy. Nicholas Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets. What you got?
I got JJJ, Jaren Jackson Jr. Three blocks a game. I mean, he's literally the anchor on defense for the Grizzlies, bro. Like,
that's the same thing for the Nets with Nick Claxton, though. And
yeah, but Memphis is the 2 seed. Nets are the 6 seed. So I mean, he's producing winning basketball.
I don't know if he's producing winning basketball because he missed a significant chunk of the season. That's my pick. Why I picked Nick Claxton? Part of defense is being able to show up every single time, whenever your team needs you, you got to be there. Jaren Jackson, he's great on defense. There's definitely a defensive player of the year candidate. But I picked Nick Claxton over him because Nick Claxton, he's been way more available than Jaren Jackson, less of a question mark. And I feel like he does more defensively than Jaren Jackson does. Jaren Jackson, he great rim protector, and you can kind of make the same case for Brook Lopez too. Great rim protector, and on switch situations, switchability, they're switchable, yes, because of their length, they'll be able to bother guards and wings. But Nick Claxton, some possessions, Nicholas Claxton, I will literally see him go out to the perimeter, and in some cases they will have to guard like the main ball handler of the other team, and it'll be a shooting guard. It'll be a 6'5" guy being guarded by a 7-footer like in Nick Claxton. And Jaren Jackson, I'm not saying he can't do that, but I just don't think he's been asked to as much Nick Claxton. And that goes back to what I was saying. It's just what they're being asked of and their availability. I feel like Nicholas Claxton has been a better pick.
I agree. Nick Claxton should be in the conversation. I also Brook Lopez. I was really close on picking him, but I just think Nick Claxton can do like more well-rounded defensively. But I feel like just Jaren Jackson, you put him down low, he's gonna be your anchor for defensively. And I think Nick Claxton, yeah, he's better well-roundedly, but I just think down low, I think Jaren Jackson's a little bit tougher and more of an anchor down there. He's
more
low.
of a presence,
and
I will say for sure.
The Grizzlies need that.
They got Steven Adams though. I don't know if Steven Adams is the same like rim protector, but the presence down low, just intimidation factor, I feel like they have that more or less like with Steven Adams too, kind of subbing into that role. But without Nicholas Claxton, man, I need to pull up some advanced stats for this.
He's like been there. Jaren Jackson's always been in that conversation. He's never broken through being defensive player of the year. So I just feel like
this is finally this year.
This is time to do it.
And so I guess that kind of, I'm picking it. Me personally, I'm just picking it off. Like I don't think what the media is thinking. I guess maybe a little bit. I kind of give it into what the media is thinking, but me personally, I'm just going off of straight who I feel like deserves it more based off of like responsibilities and roles or whatnot. And with Nick Claxton, the Brooklyn Nets would be a dumpster fire on defense. Yes. When you talk about defensive anchors, Nicholas Claxton most definitely is that to me. I feel like the Nets are number 9 defense in the league right now. And the Grizzlies, they're number 8. So with JJJ, I'm sure it's only gotten better for them. So it definitely a valid case.
Too. Like he's like him defensively is helping them win games too as well. I can't necessarily say Nick Claxton's defense is helping them win games in some retrospects. I can't say that.
True. That is very true. Okay. Very true. I think how do I say this? More or less, the personnel the Grizzlies have, they're just a way better team. Have been together for way longer, gel way better. So I guess I'll give them some more like leeway on that kind of regarding winning games.
It's apples and oranges, really.
True.
It's preference really.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm still Team Nick Claxton. I don't know if it's because I'm a Nets fan, but
It's fair.
I do think JJJ is honestly a very close second. He's averaging 3.3 blocks a game. That is crazy. Nick Claxton for the longest time was averaging 3 blocks a game. He's down to 2.6. So hopefully he can get those numbers back up. It'll only help bolster his case. But with the stat line like JJJ has right now, I don't see, media wise, I don't see how he loses this award too.
But yeah, moving on to the big award, MVP. This is obviously gonna be a little bit biased, but I got the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, winning the MVP this year. 31.8 blocks, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, his usage rate is like off the charts. He's literally, if he's on the floor and Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton are out, still win the game. Doesn't matter. I mean, that goes to some of the role players as well, and Brook Lopez. But I think Giannis is MVP. I mean, they're half game out of first place in the Eastern Conference as well.
I'm pulling up Giannis stats to compare him to my my pick. The entire year I've been flip-flopping between Luka, Jokic. As of right now, I guess I gotta give it to Nikola Jokic, man. I was Team Jokic at first, and then Luka did that crazy 60-20 game, and I instantly switched. I'm like, wow, if this is what we're on, I don't see how this kid can lose MVP. But Jokic, the dude's just a winner, and he proved it. If you compare his last year, the Nuggets, I forget what seed they were, but they weren't even, the Nuggets are the 1 seed right now. The dude's not even averaging 15 shots a game, and he's putting up almost 25-point triple-double. He's averaging 10 assists, 11.5 boards. The guy's making defensive leaps. It might not show, or you might not hear it get talked about, but a lot of that goes to his increasing basketball IQ. The guy's he keeps learning more and more each year. He gets better, like truly gets better. Maybe not rim protection wise, you won't see it, but he gets in a lot of passing lanes, and he has the LeBron effect. Severe floor raisers. You'd have a floor raiser, and they might not be a superstar, but you could just tell like a team is better with a certain player on the floor. These guys, they will elevate even the bench players. The people that are on the bench, bro, they will literally elevate them. The people that are usually sitting on the edge of the bench, mad that they're getting no playing time. When these people when Jokic gets in the game, even the people on the end of the bench, they stand up and they're clapping, they're cheering. They want to see what Jokic is going to do next, because he's got that type of flair, that type of swag, that type of anything, bro. He's my MVP. It's just a tough comparison because these guys, they've been at the top of their game for so long. So it kind of just gets, you trying to look for the gray area of like who's really making their team better, I guess, because at a certain point you just kind of think of him as the same. But Jokic, to me, and this isn't a most improved game, but the Nuggets from last year, even though of course injuries and stuff like that, they just couldn't do it without this guy. Like, if you took Jokic off the floor, they were a what am I looking for? Poverty's not the team. Poverty's not the word, but bottom team in the league, bottom 14, 15 seed. But with Jokic, bro, they barely made the playoffs. They were the 8th seed, I think. They're the 6th seed. I don't know. They played the Warriors first round and got bounced. But when Jokic came back next year, you thought he'd kind of be doing the same thing. The dude's passing the ball more than ever. He's rebounding better in terms of percentage wise, because he's not playing. He doesn't have to play nearly as many minutes as he did last year. And that's another thing too. Jokic is doing pretty much even as Giannis and Luka on way less minutes. And I don't know if you can credit that to his team success or the team personnel around him, but I think Jokic has just figured it out, and I think he deserves his 3rd in a row. Just figured out the formula, man.
Giannis
you got something to say?
Usage
Go ahead, rebuttal. My bad. If you, like I said, bro, you can interject whenever.
Giannis's usage rate is at 39% right now. You know how much usage rate or how much you were being used in the game? when it's at 39%. Jokic is at
Yeah.
27%. It's 11% like below. I think that has something to do with his team. Denver Nuggets are the team around him is definitely underrated. Like they don't get enough credit for what they do around Jokic. If you like Giannis, if Chris Middleton has not been Chris Middleton this year, so you can't even say like Middleton has been stepping up when Giannis is out when Giannis is ever out. That's just not the case. If Giannis is not playing in the game and Drew Holiday doesn't go for like 45 or something like that and some crazy number, the Bucks are going to lose that game. Bucks have won 12 in a row. Giannis is always in the game. I know he's going to drop 30 every game.
But I've seen plenty of guys come out of the woodworks this year for you guys. Like Javon Carter, he's been playing good basketball. He's been playing very quality minutes for you guys too. Bobby Portis is in 6th man of the year contention. You know what I mean? Marjon Beauchamp, I don't know how much he's been playing for you guys, but Marjon, I feel like a lot of it too can be credited to Mike Budenholzer. He's a very good coach. Very, very good coach. So he can figure out.
You said the same thing about Mike Malone, though. I mean, Jamal Murray's back now.
True,
That's
but
obviously. Aaron Gordon was playing like an all-star almost this year. He was getting up to that level. Aaron Gordon was going crazy. Michael Porter Jr. is back too as well.
most definitely.
He's got his cast around him back, and that's why
Aaron Gordon was here last year, though. Aaron Gordon was here last year, and he wasn't doing.
Yeah,
nothing.
but he wasn't playing as well as he's playing this year. Aaron Gordon was like in some sort of consideration for being named an all-star this year.
My thing
the
is,
only other player that could be named an all-star this year for the Bucks was Drew Holiday. That's it.
My argument is Aaron Gordon from last year. You take Aaron Gordon from last year, you add all the pieces to the Nuggets, injuries, you take out all the injuries and stuff, they're back. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, they're back. And then you still have Nikola Jokic. Jokic has still found a way to elevate his game and bring everybody else's floor. Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., everyone, they brought him along. You know what I mean? Jokic is up here, and these guys, they were down here. But as Jokic has increased, you know what I mean?
I think it's the opposite, actually. I think it's the opposite. I think the cast around him has helped elevate Jokic as well. Jokic is obviously he's MVP, he's candidate. But I just think the people with Jamal Murray coming back, like you have to account for him. You have to account for Michael Porter Jr. Now you have to account for Aaron Gordon and stuff like that. I just think
it's funny because before you continue, I understand where you're coming from. Jokic actually, in terms of PER, so overall efficiency, he was more efficient last year than he is this year. And this year, he's still leading the league in PER. And this year, Giannis, he's got to chuck a little bit more, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's usually shooting in the 60%.
He's got to do more. If you flip them, if you put Jokic on the Bucks and you put Giannis on the Nuggets,
I honestly think the Bucks are the first seed if you switch.
Well, the Bucks are half a game out of first place right now, so like that's not really like a.
But I think they hold it. They hold the first seed a lot longer too.
I think the Nuggets would be more of a threat to get to the finals if Giannis is on the team instead of Jokic.
I don't even know how that spacing even works though. Unless you put Giannis at center.
Giannis has played center with the Bucks too, is what I'm saying.
I know, but he doesn't primarily play center.
Giannis literally has to do more with the ball in his hands than Jokic does. Jokic doesn't really have to move or anything like that. He's got cutters and switches and stuff like that. But you can
kind of say that that's a strength to Jokic's game. That's why he's more efficient too. He doesn't need the ball nearly as much as Giannis. And you can see the percentages too, 11% in usage rate. That's more than just. And Jokic is still the star player. No one has more touches on the Nuggets than Jokic, but his usage rate is that much lower because he's that much more of a passer, more of a facilitator. He has more. I can't say he has more roles on that team than Giannis does, because they're both, like I said, they're both just as impactful players, both super vital. But what Jokic does, I feel like he does it to a higher degree as of this year. Giannis still has room for growth and stuff like that, but I just can't pick against Jokic, man. I just can't.
So do you think Jokic is the best player in the league?
Right now? He might be playing like it. Yeah. I see.
But I'm not saying playing. I'm saying, do you think he is a better basketball player than Giannis?
Dude, I don't think Giannis is a better basketball player than LeBron James. If you ask me, LeBron James is the best player in the league. You see? But if we're talking,
I can't agree with you there. I think Giannis has been the best player in the league for the last like 3 years.
you can't be the best player in the league if all it takes to take away a major facet of your game is to somebody 6'10 plus with capable defensive IQ and just have them sit behind the 3-point line. If that's taking away so much from your game already, then to me, I don't know how you can be the best player in the league. You can easily a good enough
Because you're
coach.
so dominant. Because you're so dominant playing inside the arc that you don't even need to shoot the three.
That's what I
ball.
mean. A
If
good
he
enough
had the
coach
three
is able
ball,
to scheme against
if-
those things.
If he could shoot the 3 ball consistently, he'd be the most talented NBA player of
But
all time.
if you want me to be honest with you, Giannis definitely deserved to win that finals. He played against Phoenix. It was a great game. They were counted out. Nobody thought they were going to win. Yeah, in the last game. Huge. I'm telling you right now, bro. If you put prime Toronto Bismack Biyombo instead of DeAndre Ayton under the rim, he's not having 50 points. It's just because basketball is a game of schemes.
Okay, add that one to the dumbest things.
And it's
you
not
said.
stupid because DeAndre Ayton, you can say what you
should
want.
be MVP conversation. Now you're saying Bismack Biyombo would.
Look, man, the film is there.
I hope both of them get to the finals. Now I hope they both get to the finals.
I hope so too. It'll be a great matchup, but there's no stopping Jokic. No stopping him.
No one's stopping Giannis. Giannis is the most dominant player in the league. He's been most dominant player in the league for 3 years.
Most dominant, but you can definitely stop. You can definitely take him out the game. Definitely.
They can't.
All it takes is put him in an away arena and foul him in the clutch moments, send him to the free throw line, and have your arena go crazy.
Game 5, yeah, but Game 5 they were at Phoenix, and he shot like 14 or shot 12 for 14 from the free throw line.
I want to see him do that every game. He
points.
shoots 12 for 14 from the line every game, then yeah, he can shut me up. But what's his free throw percentage even this year?
So
I know he's gotten better.
So now the 3-point percentage decides if you're
he's
the
shooting
best
way
player
worse than he was. He's shooting more free throws and making less. Well,
so
he's
now
making
the free
0.1
throw
more.
percentage is deciding if you're the best player in the league or not.
Don't throw words in my mouth, bro.
But you're just comparing. I'm just saying what you're saying.
But I'm taking Jokic, bro. I think he's my MVP.
Alrighty, and I'm taking the best player in the league, Giannis.
We gonna see if he's the best. But yeah, that's all I got for today.
Yep.
Yeah, good convo, good talk.